The 8th presentation is from Ms. Mizuki Munakata and Ms. Sanako Mihashi. Please start.
As a child, what did you want to be? Was it a doctor, a pastry chef, or a beautician? Some people might have achieved what they wanted to do, and others might have completely changed their interests. However, over 85% of people gave up their dreams. If there were more choices in career styles, they might have had a different future. We are here to change this situation with our technology. Today, we introduce you to a new service with which more than 500,000 women can resume their professional careers. You can find this service in the palm of your hand. Yes, it's a smartphone application. We call it Ready. Ready targets just one particular occupation, beautician. More than 1.25 million people have a beautician license in Japan, but only 40% of them are actually working in this career field. Where have the others gone? There are many people who have a license but are not using their skills. They're mostly women who quit their jobs because of marriage and childcare responsibilities. Ready offers job opportunities for these very people. These stylists will share their hair and makeup skills with users who need to dress up for special occasions like wedding parties and formal dinners. Ready is the perfect platform to connect stylists and users together.
Now, let's move on to a brief explanation of how Ready functions. For users, Ready is where they can search for their ideal stylist. If they type a preferred cost and schedule, the list of available stylists around their area will appear on the screen. They choose their preferred stylist, make a reservation, and wait for a response. Stylists will wait for a reservation. They will only have an appointment for their available dates and hours. If stylists and users mutually agree, stylists will visit the user's house on that day and provide a hair and makeup service to ensure the user is ready for their special day. Are you worried about having a stranger in your house? Oh, don't worry. We have a rating system in which both users and stylists evaluate each other after the end of each service.
This service benefits both stylists and the users. Let us clarify how we are going to do it. For stylists, Ready offers a new career style where they no longer need to give up their career field. Currently, many beauticians quit their jobs within 5 years after employment because they need to work long hours and several days a week with a non-flexible schedule. By becoming a stylist of Ready, they can work only when they want to, which is easier for them to balance their work life with childcare and domestic duties. For example, they can choose to work on the days and hours when their children are in school, or they can even avoid working on important days, such as family members' birthdays or holidays. It is all within their choice. You might be worried if stylists get sufficient income. Suppose that a stylist charges 3,000 yen for both hair and makeup service, but she works with 10 Ready users in a week. She can earn up to 120,000 yen per month. This amount is higher than the average monthly wage for part-time workers, which is about 95,000 yen.
Of course, it is beneficial for users too. Nearly 50% of women said that getting hair and makeup done for special occasions is stressful. For those who can't do it very well by themselves, going to the salon only for hair and makeup is too troublesome. By becoming a user of Leti, they can have a personal stylist at home whenever they want. Some women said it is also stressful to explain everything to their beauticians in the salon. With Leti application, they can send messages and pictures to the selected stylist in advance. So on the appointed day, they can just sit without worries and let the stylist prepare them for their occasions. No matter how busy you are or how clumsy you are, you can enjoy hair and makeup. The whole point of Leti is not to create a system for women having career limitation. It's about connecting stylists and users to create a new lifestyle that women can fully enjoy what they already have: professional skills and opportunities to dressing up.
To make a profit, Leti claims commission fees of 10% from stylists and 5% from users. Within 3 years, we aim to reach 200,000 users and produce 90 million yen as a revenue. Even though we will start this business from Tokyo, as the number of Leti users and stylists increases, we will gradually expand it to other big cities like Osaka and Fukuoka. Our final goal is to spread this service even to rural areas. When we achieve this goal, Leti will have a great impact on the society.
The society full of dreams. This is what we want to achieve through sharing Leti. We believe that this business model can be applied to the other occupations for further opportunities. The key is to utilize the licenses that have been wasted. Having more career styles and choices in your life will enable you to continue chasing your dream, like the dream of your childhood. We want to ask you this question again. What did you want to be? With this service, you never have to quit your job because of marriage. You never have to give up your career to take care of children. Let's make a change from here. What do you want to be? We can make you ready for your dreamable future. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Munakata and Ms. Mihashi. And now we're going to the question and answer session from the judges.
Hello. My questions both relate to the idea of having people come to your house to provide this kind of service. When I go to a barber shop, there's a point in the process where I have to put my head in a sink to be shampooed, but they've got a very large sink that's big enough for my head, and it has a little dip for my neck. And I've seen other people at shops like that using gigantic hair drying machines. So I know that, cosmetics and shampoos and so on can be all carried around in bottles and cans, but do you anticipate any trouble with situations where the beautician may need something at a person's home that isn't there?
Yes, thank you. Well, our service is hair and makeup. So we don't use any scissors, or we don't use any big shampoo machines, or we don't use any other big facilities. What we need is just maybe comb, or maybe some hair accessory if they want. So other things are just stylist skill. So that makes it easier, I guess.
Oh, okay. Thank you for clarifying that. And then the other thing about, you said people may be nervous about having a stranger come into their house, but you will deal with that through your ratings system. But especially at the beginning, when there have only been a few customers, is there any way to keep the ratings anonymous? Or if someone says hairdresser X was terrible, is hairdresser X going to see that and become upset with the customer?
Probably rating systems should be anonymous, but we don't allow the users to show their real name, so it will be anonymous. And then maybe they can change names if they don't want to show their names to the stylist they just had. And then that can be one way. And also, as for rating system, yeah, being anonymous is good. But if the rate is very, very low, probably we can do some investigation, like further investigation. Because at the beginning of our spreading service, it's all in Tokyo. So probably at the beginning, it will be possible for us to do further investigation for security issue. And yeah, we have to develop security, security system when we expand it. But probably at that time, we will have certain data, what will be like challenging point or that kind of things. So probably if the beginning is the issue, the further investigation would be one way to solve that problem.
Okay, thank you. I hope it works out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now we'll go to the second judge.
Thank you very much. You clearly thought through a lot of the issues quite well. I have to admit, I'm not an expert when it comes to hairstyling. But I'm wondering about, more on the business side, you say that you're going to get 10% from stylists and 5% from the users in terms of a revenue stream. Isn't that an awfully high percentage when you look at other apps in the internet? I mean, rates are much lower than that for most other applications. Why did you come up with that number?
We see the ratings, commission rate for Airbnb and other, like these days, sharing economy systems. And then we came up with, it's quite higher, but it's not too high that they can like reject using it because the price itself, it's 3,000 yen. It's cheaper. So they won't really think that they take so much because the only we say 15% or 10%, then it's going to be only 300 yen. So I hope that the stylist or users won't see that it's too expensive because the price itself is a little bit cheaper.
Okay, that makes sense. You said you're going to start in big cities rather than rural areas, but isn't there more unmet demand in rural areas rather than cities? Why did you choose big cities? Because of the supply available?
Probably it will be a better idea to start with big cities because there are more potential users of the app. Because for starting up kind of sharing economy service, getting more users will be very important aspect. Because without getting a lot of users, our system does not work. So probably first we need to get a certain number of users and then make it more popular so that the system will also work in rural areas.
In addition to that, because bigger city has more population in the smaller areas, so it's going to be easier for stylists to go to civil people's places. It's more higher efficiency for stylists to earn money.
Okay, let me finish with a very difficult question because you answered these other two too well. Uber has done much of the same thing by connecting drivers and passengers together by cutting out the middlemen. Now, they are facing huge problems around the world. What do you think you have learned or should learn from the problems Uber has faced in launching something similar in terms of structure?
I guess Uber's system, because the decreased income for the taxi companies or other local companies. So that's why some like Uber and the local companies or government have the conflicts each other. So I think we have to learn from that. Like for us, it's going to be hair salon, or I found the hair salon which is doing only for hair and makeup service. So I think we might have a conflict with those companies. So we have to figure out how to deal with those things.
And in addition to that, actually, fundamentally, it will be very great for us because what we are trying to do is creating job opportunities for women who were not able to work while they want to work. So like being in competition could be kind of a good outcome for us. So like if we go into the competition, yes, we have to compete, but creating that trend is one of our purpose. So it's not necessarily a negative thing for us.
Okay, well, thank you very much for those.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Okay, thank you very much. And now we'll go to the audience. We have time for one question. Okay, we have somebody over here at the back. Sorry. Yes.
Thank you for the great presentation. My name is Sora from Osaka. I actually have two questions. I just want to make sure how much it costs to use the service. How much does it cost?
Do you mean for users?
Yes.
Actually, the price will be determined by the stylist. Before users make a booking, stylists will show their kind of price. It will be based on their experience or skills. But based on our survey distributed to women in their 20s to 50s, like there were 200 responses, and then they said 50% of them said they are willing to pay 2,000 to 3,000 yen for both hair and makeup. So it will be probably average range of the cost.
Right. So my other question is it gonna be sustainable jobs? Because I think a lot of people want makeup or hair ups for our weekend. However, not many people have like hair up or makeup on weekdays. How are you going to make it sustainable and sustainable job?
I guess, as based on the survey, we also asked like what kind of situation do you want to use this, and then of course the majority of answer is like ceremony or wedding parties, and it's gonna be weekend. But also there are quite a lot of people who's in 30s or 40s who already got married, but they are not working, and those people tend to have a lunch together in a little bit good hotel or expensive place. In those cases, these women want to have a little bit dress up for that. So I think we can use those things for the weekend demands, but we also have to find more people or situation that they can use to make it sustainable.
Thank you for answers.
Thank you very much.
And thank you, Ms. Munakata and Ms. Mihashi, for a beautiful presentation.
ありがとうございました。